Welcome back, and you're ready for Project 4, the next phase, which is turning our Microsoft Word resume into something that we can use in InDesign. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to strip the formatting that is used in this document before we bring it into InDesign. And it seems counterintuitive, but there's a lot of tables and other things that are really confusing to work with in this Word document. So, what I need you guys to do, I'm going to close a couple things out, is I need you to go to the home area of Word and you want to look for these styles. Now on PC it's a little different than Mac. On Mac we click on this little backwards P with the square, and this manages the styles that are used in the document. If you don't see that on a PC, there's a drop down menu and there's an arrow here under these styles, and you can bring up the styles control panel this way. Now, I'm going to put my cursor in this document and I'm going to select everything. So I'm hitting Command A on a Mac or Control A on a PC. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on Clear Formatting. Now what that does is it gets rid of any styles that would maybe interfere with what we're doing in InDesign. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to save this as a TXT document, which will quickly strip out all the table data. Now, these are in tables and rows and columns. You just don't see them because the tables don't have any lines showing on them. So we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Save As. And instead of saving this as a Word document, we're going to save it as a plain text document. All right, and I'm going to hit Save. And I am going to choose the Western. Mac is fine. You'll probably have PC, but this should work out just fine. It's going to get rid of a lot of extra stuff. Now I'm going to close this document, and we will see that there's a TXT document that was saved to my Project 4 files. I'm going to right-click on that, and I'm going to open it with Microsoft Word. And I'm going to do a Unicode text. That should work out just fine. Hit OK. I'm going to hit OK for the macOS default and Western. Now, there's still some additional things that need to be stripped out. Now, this doesn't look like much of a design, but that's okay. If you want to see invisible characters, which do matter, these are characters that are there, but they don't actually print. You can click on this backwards P. This is Show All Non-Printing Characters. Now, the backwards P, what that represents is the return key has been hit. That's called a hard return when you see a backwards P. So any backwards P's that are standing alone, not next to a line of type, you want to delete those. Now, if I deleted this backwards P, it would bring the next paragraph up, and that's not what I want to do, so I'm going to hit Command Z. So we want to try to get rid of any excess backwards P's. Actually, all of these are excess. I'm going to delete every single one of these and clean this document up. Now, anything underlined in green is basically a grammatical issue. Anything underlined in red, it's telling us that there may be something spelled improperly. Okay, so we're stripping out excess stuff. Now, clients oftentimes give us Microsoft Word documents, and they are just oftentimes a mess. They think they're doing us a favor by doing all sorts of great design work for us. But in fact, they create lots of extra work for us. On average, depending on the size of the document, I usually get many documents, many words in my document. Also cleaning out these, by the way, bullet points and extra spacing. Those little tiny dots equal spacebar. We don't want that. And the arrow is basically a tab, so I'm going to get rid of all of these little arrows except for one per line. Now I know it doesn't look like there's one there, but let me zoom in. And next to the word JavaScript, it is just barely there, but there is an arrow that represents, oops, there's two here. Let's get rid of that. There's an arrow, and that represents that the tab key on the keyboard has been hit. So when I hit tab, you can see it puts more arrows in. You only want one tab stop, so only hit the tab key once. Okay, let me zoom back out of this because it's just too much. Okay, so I've cleared out all unnecessary data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Microsoft Word's paragraph styles over here. And I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to call this heading 1. Looks like we have a little bit of additional formatting. Excuse me. I'm going to hit the return key. Let's do heading 2. I'm looking at that little square there, and I'm not sure what that is. So, don't want a bunch of those in my document. So I'm going to have to wait till InDesign comes around and do it then. What I'm doing here is I'm assigning this specific paragraph styles. There we go. Plain text, list paragraph. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same paragraph style for profile. I'm going to hold down Command and see if I can do it. You can do multiple selections. Not on a PC, this is hold down Control. So I know that profile, experience, what's the other one? Education and skills. Got those selected. I know those headings. Okay, so now they all look the same. This is super quick formatting. Now I know that roughly these all look somewhat the same, so I'm going to go ahead and take that to list paragraph. Actually, the name of the company and the date, I might make that book title, or actually I don't like it all uppercase or small caps. So let me just do strong on that. Next place that is of employment, I haven't actually worked at these places, by the way. I've worked similar places on some of these lists. This is, we called that strong. I need to hold down the command key, or in PC case, control key, and I can do these as a set. There we go. So I'm trying to set up visual hierarchy here. That should be a strong, and let's see, this one should be, let's make them both. We'll make those both list paragraph, and that one's strong. Let's look at these. This has an A next to it. This is character formatting, or character styles. And backwards P or paragraph styles. We actually don't want character styles. So let me change these strong ones up to something with a P. So let's just say a subtitle. And I'll double click on that. And let me grab these other ones. And I'm going to use Command, or in case of a PC, Control. I'll select all those at the same time. And I double click on subtitle. When I double click, it overrides the previous. What else do I have here? I have this information, which would be more like, we'll call it a list paragraph. And this stuff was supposed to also look like list paragraph. Okay, so we've kind of visually set apart. I'll call this heading 1, and we'll call this stuff heading 2. Heading 4, I'll try to get something that looks good here. Heading 5, heading 6. Oh, it's adding them as we go. Not a title. Whoa. Subtitle. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now, this doesn't look phenomenal like the previous design, but what this does do is it applies specific paragraph styles to my work. So this will make it easier when I get it in InDesign, because when I get it in InDesign, all I have to do is edit these styles. In fact, if you want to edit the styles in Microsoft Word, you could by clicking on the arrow, going to modify the style, and if you decided that you wanted all of those to be a different font, you could choose that font right here, right now. So instead of Times New Roman, which you should not be using, do not use Times New Roman unless you're doing a newspaper. It was developed for newspaper layout, so it's a pretty generic font, considered a pretty generic font now. So please do not use Times New Roman. So let's say for the smaller text, let's say I wanted to go with Century Gothic. So I'm going to go with Century Gothic Regular, and you'll notice how all of these changed. And they're too big because the X height on Century Gothic was bigger than the previous font I was using. So I'm going to make those all 10. Hit OK, and they all change, which is really, really, I mean, this is like super quick. This is one of the best lessons you'll learn is dealing with paragraph styles. It makes really hard, it makes light work of something that was otherwise very hard. Now in profile, that was, what style was that? That was a heading. So if I wanted to change the font on that, I would click on the little arrow, go to Modify Style, and instead of that particular typeface, I would like to go ahead and go with Century Gothic, or maybe I'll go with Bold. And I'll hit OK. And you'll notice that these change to Century Gothic Bold. Now that's not much of a difference between the typeface that it was before, so you might not have noticed a big change. And then I'm going to also switch up this paragraph. Ooh, that says a character style. We don't want character styles. So let's go back up here to, I think, subtitle or the paragraph. Let's try to make sure we're using paragraph styles. Doesn't want to get off of there. Okay, so, darn it. Let me delete this one, and we will see if it'll use something else. Let's just go with a subtitle. Update. Okay, so this is now a subtitle. There we go, which is the same as this type up here. That's also subtitle. So we may or may not change that. Okay, and then this is also a subtitle. Good. And everything else, maybe my computer must be running slow. Everything else should be the right headings and things. So let me grab all this, see what it is. Should be list paragraph. Okay. So we stripped out all the formatting, all the tables, and we just have applied some real basic paragraph styles. Not the ones with the A, those are character styles. We want paragraph styles. Now if you want to edit the paragraph styles, before I do that, let me see if there's an extra space there. Nope. Let me hit Command Z. What I might do is I might do some adjustments on the spacing. It looks like there must be a space before this paragraph. See all that white space? That means it's the same here and here. And that's all right. You know, you want to de-emphasize certain things, and you want to emphasize other things. You want to make sure that everything feels like it's chunked together properly. Now I do want to separate some of these, so I have to decide, do I want a space before these to get them away from the descriptive text, or do I want a space after these? And you know, sometimes when you put a space after something, and I'm talking not one of these, not a return. That's not the same thing. That's old bad habits. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a space after this particular paragraph style. So we can edit this or modify it by clicking on the arrow, going to modify. And let's see here. I know we're pretty limited in what we can do. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, it's not going to be space after paragraph because it's going to be, that will put a space after every single one of these. So I'm going to cancel that. Don't like that, but it's just what it is. So what I'll do is I'll just get some, actually we'll just deal with that in InDesign. So I'm going to undo that. We'll put the additional space before that paragraph in InDesign. We're getting too many things going on. Okay, so it looks like I'm ready to bring this into InDesign. Let's make sure that nothing is going on here too badly. Okay, yeah, we just are kind of limited to what we can do here as far as spacing. So we're going to save this. We're going to go to File and Save As. And what I'm going to call this is I'm going to, first of all, make sure it's a Word document. Now, if you have old Microsoft Word, save it as Word 97, but if you have new Microsoft Word, save it as a .doc. Call this resume, and I'm going to call this strip formatting. Okay, this lets me know that this document is the one I'm going to use in InDesign. I'm going to stop this video, and I will continue on with a new video for how you're going to manage this text once you get it to InDesign. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.